Into this video I'm going to teach you how to sleep as best as possible to maximize your energy, your testosterone, your recovery, and overall live a more healthy and happier life. Nowadays everyone knows that sleeping is essential and important, and maybe the most single important thing for your health. But even not long ago, for example 20 years ago, a lot of people thought that sleeping was a thing that you didn't need, was a thing that we do only for being a little bit lazy, and it was considered from a lot of people like a something that was keeping them back from their results, their money. If for example they were entrepreneur, they won't sleep maybe 3 hours a night to work more and earn more money. But nowadays everyone knows how sleep is the most single important thing, is the most essential important thing for your health. But the time slept every hour by every person on the earth is keep decreasing each and every single year. Why? First of all, for the modern habits, the modern environment, and secondly, because the first thing, the first cause is very easy to change, but secondly, because we are too lazy to put work on our sleep. That's why into this video I'm going to teach you how to sleep as best as possible to maximize your energy, your testosterone, your recovery, and overall live a more healthy and happier life. The first thing that I want to talk about is blue light. It's a very famous concept that blue light before sleep is very dangerous for your sleep quality and sleep quantity, because we don't know, we know because, but a lot of people don't know why. In my last video that I talked about how sleep works, I also talked about the circadian rhythm. The circadian rhythm is our internal clock that simply tells us what hour of the day it is, and it simply tells us when to go to sleep and when to wake up and when to secrete some hormone, for example. And in nature it works that we have the sunlight, so the light only during the day, right? And especially blue light, we have blue light especially only during the day, not during sunset, sunrise. Yeah, maybe a little bit, but the majority of blue light that we get is during the day. And when we start to not see any blue light, for example at sunset, we start to secrete a hormone called melatonin that tells our brain that it's time to prepare to sleep because it's getting dark. But now we have smartphones, computers, TVs that reproduce blue light even at later night. And I found this graph, a very good graph, that simply shows how the smartphone use at night, when the display emit blue light, like blue light suppress the production of melatonin, the pineal gland can produce melatonin, and melatonin can regulate your sleep cycle. The problem is that the majority of people, when they can't sleep, what they do? They use smartphones, and the cycle never ends. So if we want to break this cycle, we first of all need to use blue light filters on our phone late at night. It's the easiest single thing that we can do. The second thing that I would recommend to everyone, and maybe it's the most impactful thing on this list, is stop using our phones, our TVs, our computers. I would say if you're not using the blue light filter, at least 2 hours or even 3 hours before going to sleep. And two things that I would recommend for everyone trying to absolutely maximize their sleep is using red lights in their home and blue blocking glasses. Red lights are maybe a little bit more expensive, while blue blocking glasses are very easy to find online. And blue light is gone. Now we need to talk about stress and heart rate. In nature, we would have the lowest stress and heart rate later in the evening, allowing us to fall asleep as soon as possible. I would start to talk about stress. Stress is produced, like stressed, what we feel when we feel stressed is because we have a high cortisol level in our blood system, and that is a hormone responsible for stress, and it put us in a fight or flight mode, and it's simply harder to fall asleep. So if we want to reduce our cortisol, we can journal. If we have any, maybe something that is keeping it stuck in our mind and it's maybe get stressing us, do a to-do list for tomorrow to not stress about what to give tomorrow. They don't give a shit ideology that simply when something comes into our mind, you need to remember that you don't give a shit at it thing. And yeah, I would put the graph showing why you don't need to care about the things. Probably you already seen it online because it's very famous, but it's very, very useful. And lastly, and maybe the most important thing on this list, is don't have a stressful environment. No people that are trying to stress you, to fight you, to anything else. So as I said before, cortisol put us in fight or flight mode. But the thing that you need to know, that when we are in fight or flight mode, we have also higher heartbeat. Having high heartbeat is very dangerous for our sleep. And high heartbeat is not only caused by cortisol, okay? And what high heartbeat caused is harder to fall asleep, bad sleep, easier to wake up during the night. So what are some things that we can do to reduce our heartbeat? The first ones are the one that we said before, to reduce our stress, to not go in fight or flight and have low heartbeats. Other thing that we can do is have no sports 2 hours before going to sleep, especially hard sports, no cold showers, no phone and video games because they are going to make you excited and having a heartbeat. Walking 30 minutes before. So if you want to walk late at night, wait 30 minutes to go to bed. Do meditation to lower your heartbeat, and breathing patterns are very helpful also. Now we talked about the things that usually destroy our sleep. Other things that could destroy it that are a little bit more rare, especially for young people and athletes, are sleep apnea. I'm not an expert in those things, so please check them yourself, find other creators. Sleep apnea, for example. Sleep insomnia is starting to be very common, but most of the time, even sleep insomnia is simply caused by blue light at night and all that stuff. Because a lot of people try maybe one night to don't watch any computer and they can't fall asleep, but that's because their circadian rhythm, their body is completely fried, so it takes time. So now we're going to talk about the habits to do before sleep. So we need to have a consistent waking and going to sleep time. I would say in the range of 30 to an hour. The more is the more of consistent you are, the more consistent you are, the better. Have sun in your eyes as soon as you wake up. If it's a cloudy day, stay outside a little bit more. But if it's really sunny, wait, you can be even 5 minutes. Coffee, you can have caffeine 90 minutes after you wake up to lower to don't increase too much your cortisol, and try to not use it fasted. You need to have a little bit of fats and carb in your system. No caffeine after 11-12 p.m. depends even a lot on the person, but yeah, maybe you say that you don't get affected by caffeine, but maybe because you don't really know how is not be you forgot how it's not being affected by caffeine. No heavy eating 3 hours before going to sleep. No cold showers, we said before, 2 hours before. No sport 2 hours before. No, absolutely no eating 1 hour before. No stimulation 1 hour before, so even phone with blue lights, no. Reading and writing 1 hour, so we don't want to have stimulation, but read and write is okay. Have a warm shower maybe before going to sleep, a light stretch, have legs on the wall to relax yourself. Box breathing, that is simply breathing patterns, very helpful. So in general, no blue light 2 hours before. Having high magnesium food maybe 1 hour before going to sleep. No high salts in your last meal. No heavy drinking, especially if you have problem with waking up and going to sleep during the night. No alcohol. No alcohol during all the day and every day. No walking 30 minutes before. No chocolate, because even chocolate can disrupt your sleep. No chocolate means in the late evening, okay? During midday, for example, after lunch, you can have a piece of very dark chocolate, maybe 85% more. Blue light glasses for the light and grounding during the whole day, because it's very good at reducing your stress and everything else. The perfect environment. To sleep the best as possible, we need to have a dark, silent, quiet, cool room. Dark, if it's hard for you to have a dark room, simply wear eye mask. To a quiet and silent room, wear earplugs. To have a cool room, turn on, for example, the AC and everything else. Open the window. Oh, and I forgot. Try to open the window before going to sleep, because it's going to increase your oxygen level in your room, and it's going to improve your sleep quality. To sleep better, use nose strips to open up your nose airways. Use mouth tape to ensure nasal breathing. Use cotton linen sheets to avoid any microplastic. Sleep naked to have lower body temperature, especially in your testicle. That is going to increase your testosterone, because we need to have your balls want to be a little bit colder than your whole body. Sleep on your side or back, especially your left side. I believe that's everything that you need to know, especially if you are having trouble to sleep. If you have any sleep condition, I'm not the best one to talk about. Please go and see some expert online or even in person. But for everyone who is trying to improve their sleep and don't have any problem with their sleep time and everything else, please ask everything you want to know that I don't talk about in the comments. Please Subscribe, press the like button, and see you in the next one.